want to give my state of the program for Baylor men's basketball after the 2023-2024 season is done. Obviously, we all know that Ray J. Dennis is out of Baylor after this year, and He has done a lot of good things at Baylor, and I know at times he's been criticized, but you gotta admit when he's on. He's on. He just turns the ball over a little bit too much. We do lose for sure Jonathan Chachua. Of course, Austin Sachs. I didn't mention him in that like 3C Baylor losing to Clemson, but he's a former walk on that just got on scholarship. So that's that on him. And Caleb Lohner walked on senior day. So I don't think it's likely that he's going to come back, but you never know. Same thing goes for John Bridges. And I think it seems like he's going to be out of Baylor, and I feel bad for all the seniors not getting back to a Sweet 16, especially Jonathan Chachua, because we all know he was part of the national title team. And it's just unfortunate how he got hurt in that Texas game 2021-2022 season, and he has not been the same player since that injury. But you cannot deny his leadership. You can't deny it. Jacoby Walter is probably going to be a one and done. Probably. Same thing goes for Ease Missy, even though I could see benefits for both of those guys coming back, but I don't think it's worth risking an injury, to be honest. And we obviously lost Antron Grimes during the season. So, no need to rehash that and all this. And I'm not going to call this season a failure. Not in terms of overall record and conference record. Yes, conference record would be better, but it's in the Big 12. It's the toughest league in men's basketball, according to net rankings, Ken Palm. So, and we finished in the top 4 at number 3, and I know it would have been nice to be higher, but you get the point, everyone. I mean, the Big 12 is tough, and we do have Noah Boyd coming in at center as a JUCO, but he got hurt, and he missed the rest of the year, so I don't think he is going to be counted on to contribute right away. Obviously, we got Jason Asamoah. He's going to probably be a starter if Jalen Bridges leaves, which I think it's likely that he's going to be gone anyway. We got Rob Wright at point guard, which that definitely helps. And we do have VJ Edgecombe, which he could be another one of those starters. So, and this is all pending transfer portal, mind you, because you never know with the transfer portal these days. And NIL. I mean, players need to get paid too. I mean, even though some people may be against that, I'm just telling the truth. So the only front court player that could potentially come back is Josh Ujuwuna. They're going to have to address something in the front court. And actually, I found out yesterday that Baylor is they have talked to the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, and the player is from Rutgers, and I know he's only averaged like 10.9 points per game, but let me go look real fast, and his name is Clifford Omorui, Omorui. And I apologize for butchering that, by the way. And I mean, 10.4 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per game, 0.7 steals per game. But the number that jumps out to me, 2.9 blocks. We need defense. And that would really help a lot. and Langston Love should be back, but I hope for that guy's sake he gets a healthier year or stays healthy all year long. I mean, before his freshman season, his true freshman season, he tore his ACL out for the year. Last year, fluke eye injury. Practically no more games for him after that eye injury. And this year, he's hurt his ankle 3 different times in 3 different ways. I mean, the Texas Tech game, the BYU game, he came back, and he did something in practice. Had to be. I mean, that's the only explanation. And we do have Giannis Jonga. That's coming back as well, but he redshirted this season, and I don't know, and he would have been redshirted anyway, but he was out for the year, torn ACL. So yeah, that's you can't really. It's hard to count on a guy that just tore ACL the year after, but you never know. So that's the only 2 guys I see coming back in the front court. And I know we got Noah Boyed and Joshua Wuna, and like that, like not a lot of front court players are coming back in general, as well as like Jason Asamoah. But it's one of those, yeah. It's just, and Mira Little could come back, but we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, because there's a transfer portal at guard. Now I'm going to go to the guards. Of course, they have Omar Bola, but he was more like a walk-on. And Jay Nunn should be back. It's just, and honestly, we do have Rod Wright and VJ Edgecombe coming in. So I think the guards are going to be fine. I don't know if they're going to go after another guard. I don't know if they want to. But we're going to have to wait and see. I definitely know the front court needs to be addressed in the offseason. I mean, that's the rule number 1. And I do think they might need to change their recruiting philosophy. As in, like, go more defense. The defense did improve. It was in the hundreds last year. This year it finished like 70. Yeah, they made some strides, but not big enough. Obviously, to go to a Sweet 16, it's just a disappointment. I mean, for the 3rd straight year after they winning the national title, haven't been back to the Sweet 16 since. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. Before the season began, I did say worst case scenario was around a 32. I did say that. So I was being real. And it's all about matchups too in the NCAA tournament. So, I'm just telling the truth. And I really feel bad for Jacoby Walter. Good young man. He just missed a lot of free throws. Especially those 2 down the stretch. But, we're going to have to wait and see what happens in the offseason in terms of who goes to the NBA draft, who's going to enter the transfer portal, who we're going to add through the transfer portal, because I definitely know they're going to have to add some guys through the transfer portal. We got 4 incoming guys right now. But the thing is, you got to have to address something in the front court anyway. It's just the truth about this, and I don't think offense is going to be the problem next year necessarily. I just think this year, for whatever reason, we've not been able to overcome some bad shooting games and some of those losses this year. When Baylor's not making shots, they're going to lose. And I know we beat Kansas at home. I get it, but that was not a typical Kansas team. Not compared to the past. At least we didn't have any bad losses, technically. I know Michigan State was technically a bad loss at the time. I know it was. But they made the NCAA tournament, made it to the round of 32. Just like we did. And we beat Texas Tech. But we also lost Tech. We did lose to TCU, who lost in the first round. But we beat them there. And it's like one of those, in the last month of the season, when they don't have a good start to a game. It has hurt Baylor at times, but yet they came back and won. Look at that Texas game. And we lost in Austin, obviously, but that was just a luck shot at the buzzer. I'm just telling the truth. And Kansas State was just, we let that game slip away on the road, but maybe next year we'll get them at home and finally beat Jerome Tang. Hopefully. Because I know it's got to be killing Scott Drew a little bit on not beating him. Or any of his former assistants. And of course, look at the way, we're going to have to, like I said, not just for Baylor side of things, but everybody in the Big 12. And we're going to lose Texas and Oklahoma, obviously. But the Big 12 is going to be just fine without Texas and Oklahoma in terms of basketball. Because Arizona's coming in. That's the thing. Colorado made the NCAAs this year. And Utah is like a bubble team. Arizona State's been down recently, but maybe they'll come back up. I don't know. And I know West Virginia just hired a new men's basketball coach, and Oklahoma State has to do one as well. So, we're going to have to wait and see what happens. And I know we won some games despite our poor shooting, but at the end of the day, you got to buckle up and play more defense, and we got to be more consistent. But there's one thing that's been constant with this team, or at least the last part of the Big 12 play. Baylor's a second half team. And it proved that against Clemson, and even in a loss. We just missed too many free throws, and I know those guys work on free throws. I know they do. And all this. And we just got to be better on free throw shooting defense. That's what killed Baylor too. They get allowed 24 free throws, which I get when a team's in a bonus. They're in a bonus and they shoot free throws on every foul except the offensive foul, if it's called on Baylor. So I'm just saying, we got to the free throw line too. It's just we missed 10 free throws. Yeah, if we would have made 2 of those by Jacoby Walter, I think then Clemson would have the ball again, but then we're going to have one less shot at it. And I think the outcome could have been different, but I'm not positive. Because what if Clemson makes their shot and we don't score another basket? That's the thing. And we dug ourselves out of double-digit lead and deficits before, but this year, but we cannot do that consistently. It's hard to do. Really, really hard. And I'm sure all the returning players next year, they're going to remember this season and be motivated for next year. On those who come back. And I know we have supposedly talked to a Stanford guard too. I just don't remember the name per se, but I'm going to look that up real fast, and I apologize for looking down because I can memorize this. It's like a guy that one time and there's always options in the transfer portal. There's even good players in mid-major schools that did well this past year, and they just want to move up a level and get NIL money, or get some the Rutgers guy, he would be a grad transfer for 1 year. So I definitely know they're looking at every option. Oh yeah, that I think Baylor is going after. They supposedly talked to Keenan Carlisle. I think, but I'm gonna check on that. And I know the best big guys in the transfer portal too, and I know he's not the best guy in terms of numbers, but he could score and rebound. And honestly, players could get out of that letter of intent, but this is just assuming on my part that they're sticking around. Yeah, we have contacted Kanan Carlisle, so and he was a former 5-star at a high school at guard. So we're gonna do wait and see what happens and all this. This is, and I want to try to keep it under 20 minutes here. So I apologize for the length of the video in advance. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys later on the road to 600 subscribers. Of course, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So make money out this. Of course, liking the video, comment the video really helps the YouTube algorithm so more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well so more people can watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, free the notification bell as well. And I'm not going to say this season is a failure. It's more like a disappointment that in terms of how far we went in the NCAA, Baylor went to the NCAA tournament this year. Overall record, I take it. And you got to remember, and we're not going to return like a lot of stars potentially from this team to next year, too. I mean, technically, Jane Nunn's probably the only one. Probably. So you could say Langston Lovett has played basically starter minutes off the bench when healthy. So he could be a starter. So, and we got Mira Little too, but I know he doesn't play a lot. But I don't think we have to worry about the guards as much, though. We might go after a guard. I don't know. But, and I definitely, like I said, Baylor needs to address the front court, and they're going to have to do something about the defense because last 2 years without Jerome Tang, the defense has taken a step backwards since that 2022 team. I just know you can't play that bad of a defense to expect to win the games. You just can't. At least we took a step in the right direction defensively. It's more like we got to get better there. Because the offense, as you could tell, that was not the problem. And I don't think that's going to be a problem going forward. Even if we lose some guys, I don't think the offense is going to be the problem next year. I really, really don't.